inside of you there are two people. One that is laser focused and very controlled, and the other one who just likes to do nothing and stare into the void. And these two don't like each other. Actually, they don't even talk to each other, except for one very important thing: when you are being creative. And right now you're probably asking, how does he know me so well? How does he know these two people are living inside of me? Well, actually, it's science.
Yes, science!
You'll see. These two people represent parts inside of your brain, or more like systems inside of your brain. The first one represents the cognitive control network, and it's the system inside your brain that is in charge of controlling your behavior. Making sure that you do not act purely on impulse or purely as an emotional person. And the second one is called the default mode network, and it's the one who is in charge while you are basically doing nothing. When you're just thinking about your girlfriend or boyfriend or your dog or whatever you are into, that's when this network is active. And you see, it makes sense that they do not talk to each other, because how are you going to be concentrating while you're daydreaming? It's impossible. But a guy called Adam Green, who is a neuroscience researcher from the University of Georgetown, made a very interesting experiment, and he discovered that it is possible for these two networks to collaborate only when you are doing creative things. The experiment was as follows. He looked inside the brain of people, with an MRI, because nobody looks really inside of the brain, never mind. Anyways, while people were inside the MRI, he asked them to do two tasks. First, something called the alternate use test. That is when you show someone an object and you ask him to think and say out loud different uses for this object. Like, for example, this is a water bottle, but you can use it also, as a hammer. You can use it as a prism to look through this, or you can use it as a lamp when you put the bulb inside. Lots of things. And then the second task was an observation task. He shows an object to the people, and you just have to describe it as it is, no invention. It's round, it's transparent, it's made of glass, that's it. So what he learned from this experiment is that people, when is being creative, develop an interaction between these two networks, and highly creative people have higher connection between these two networks, something that seemed impossible. You see, inside your brain happens the impossible. Now, if you think about it, it totally makes sense. If you are an artist or you have talked to artists, they describe this feeling of being in the zone, For example, writers who have the feeling that someone is dictating them the words of the poem or the story that they are writing. Actors who improvise perfectly in character without realizing it, or they have no memory of what just happened in the scene, but yet they spoke the exact words that they learned by heart the day before. Or when, a painter paints, sees the images and they have the feeling of just channeling them to put them in the canvas. You see, it's this feeling of not being in control and at the same time working with a high level of precision. So how do you get in the zone? Well, it's very easy. You just have to concentrate and at the same time let your mind drift. I'm gonna be more specific. The first thing that you can absolutely do is to meditate, because when you meditate, you learn to appease your mind. You are training to avoid taking or putting your attention in all the external stimuli from all around, and you just place your attention in something that happens inside yourself, such as your breath or the feeling on your skin, or something very precise, even if it's the outside, like looking at the flame of a candle. So that will teach you and make you get used to this feeling of deep concentration without actual control. Something else that you can do is that you have to master the technique of whatever you want to do. If you want to be a writer, then first, the best you can do is learn everything there is to learn about storytelling, about grammar, about the words, the semantics, the structure, etc. Because that way, later you can just let go when you have automated this idea. If you want to be a painter, learn everything about proportions, colors, lines, I don't know, shades. If you are an engineer or a product designer, what you have to do is you have to obsess yourself with the problem that you are trying to solve. You have to just stuff as much information as possible inside your mind. So now that you have obsessed yourself with what you want to do, you can purposefully let yourself daydream. And the solutions and the ideas will start to come just naturally. But don't just daydream about anything, because there's more science. A professor of neuroscience from the University of California called Jonathan Schooler discovered that certain things make you, daydreaming about certain things make you creative in certain areas. For example, people who has personally meaningful daydreams, such as a vacation or a great career, have reported higher artistic achievements and more daily inspiration. And people who has fantastical daydream, such as creating alternate realities or new worlds, they have achieved higher quality creative writing. But if you daydream about problem solution or planning for the future, that actually doesn't affect your creativity, neither positively nor negatively. So now you know. Go and be creative. But before you go, smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I'm gonna be posting much more videos about creativity, and see you next time.